I'm Elizabeth Sidwell. My husband Mike and I have been coming to the gathering for about 2.5 years now. So professionally, I'm a movement specialist in a chiropractor's office. And for fun, I have been training powerlifting, and I compete once or twice a year. So before I found myself at the gathering, my life was kind of a mess, honestly. I've struggled with an eating disorder since I was 8 years old, but it really came full force in 2017. I was coming back from an injury, postpartum, and it just turned out to be a slippery slope that I didn't recover from. Just full-on restriction, over-exercising, and I just kind of shrunk away right in front of people. At that point in my life, I felt so unworthy of being in church. I really never understood, I think, grace and forgiveness the way we're meant to. Mike wasn't raised in church the way I was. I think he was raised Catholic. He had mentioned frequently how he wanted to find a church and go to church. And I remember, I'll never forget, in 2022, on May 15th, we had come to church, and the message that day was about really believing that you could be free from your past and that you could really be a new person. You didn't have to be owned by those choices, behaviors, you name it. And it was a day that the congregation was invited to come forward if they wanted to. That is not really a thing that either of us would ever do. And Mike wanted to come forward that day, and so we did. Everyone prayed, and I saved the communion cup that day and have the date written on it, because that was the day that made everything we were going to ever go through possible. It kept our marriage from being irreparable during some really trying times, and because of faith, our marriage has been so different. We are not perfect, neither of us. Everything is still a work in progress, but I know that if that is what we were pursuing first, I know that everything else will be okay. Over this last year, I have had so many moments where I finally understood what grace was, what forgiveness is, and why I couldn't find it on my own, because it was never mine to find on my own. It was just mine to receive. And realizing that has changed my life. I also know that recovering my faith and understanding these things and letting that set me free from the guilt and the shame and all of the things that would tell me that I should just let myself continue to let this disorder rule me, because what was my life worth anyway? Being set free from those thoughts because of my faith and because grace is real and because who Jesus says I am is more than I ever needed has absolutely helped me in my recovery. What I would say to someone who's skeptical about faith, church, any of those things, just saying yes to something outside of your comfort zone, no matter how small it seems, for me, has had huge results. You could pray for me by just praying for us to continue to grow in grace. That's my prayer most days. Just give me grace.
Elizabeth, are you willing to arm wrestle me?
That's not part of powerlifting, but okay.